Hello guys and welcome back to another PokeTorio video, and today I have Adam with me,
Hello everyone.
and today we're going to have a bit of a discussion about grading companies in general. We've had a bit of news come out last night about PSA. We've had an influx of UK grading companies come to the market, some that have officially opened, some that are due to open. So we thought we'd do a bit of a roundup, see what's going to benefit some companies, what's going to not benefit some companies. And see where we think the market's going to go. So we've got some thoughts and some ideas, but yeah, we'd like to hear your thoughts on it as well. So Adam,
Yes.
do you want to tell them about the news that PSA dropped last night?
Right. So PSA dropped a, what do you call it? It's like a sort of a blog post on their. So they dropped an article on their website. It says PSA customer update April 2021. Hello PSA customers. Since my last update, the momentum behind the hobby has only accelerated. In fact, our Collectors Universe president and CEO, Joe Orlando, recently shared the reality of the surge of submissions to PSA. So, as we know, PSA has skyrocketed. Everyone's all decided now to send the cards at once. So going into the next part, it says, I'll try to further illustrate what has happened. The sheer volume of orders that PSA received in early March has fundamentally changed our ability to service the hobby. The reality is that my eyes have just gone right weird. The reality is we recently received more cards in 3 days than we did during the previous 3 months. Even after the surge, submissions continue at never before seen levels. So, as I did just say, everyone's sending cards in. I don't understand why they've managed to get 3 months in 3 days. Could that be due to COVID?
I think it could be a lot of things, couldn't it? There's the whole COVID thing. Shipping from sort of across countries have taken a big hit, taking longer than expected. So it could be that. It could also be as well that obviously the Pokemon products have all been delayed. We've had 3 new sets out within what is it? In 6 weeks, we've had 3 sets. The Hidden Fates reprint, Shining Fates, and Battle Styles.
Yep. I think it was bang on a month, weren't it? Because it was 19th of February for Shining Fates, and then 19th of March for Battle Styles. And did they drop the Hidden Fates between, or maybe a week after Shining Fates?
It was close, wasn't it? I know America got the Hidden Fates a bit before Shining Fates, and the UK and Europe got it a bit afterwards. So depending on where you was dependent on where you got it. So I think that could be a big part of it. Also, the amount of box breaks that are going on, the sheer amount of products that are being opened. As we know, Pokemon is at an all-time high. But then you've also got, it's not just Pokemon products. You've got Dragon Ball, you've got Yu-Gi-Oh, you've got Magic, you've got
baseball cards,
Digimon sports cards. There's tens of, well, not hundreds of hobbies, but at least 10 hobbies that people are sending off to grade. And I think it got to a point where not many people were sending cards off for grading because no one was really in it for that sort of thing. I know baseball cards and stuff like that have always been big in grading, and so as all the other trading cards. But I think the past year, especially, people are starting to, since COVID, people are starting to use stuff where they can sort of buy it for cheap, turn it round, sell it for profit because people have been out of work, stuff like that, and it's an easy way to make money without doing a lot. So I think all them things combined has suddenly just sort of come out. I mean, I sent my some cards off to PSA in September, and they're not expected. It was meant to be 3 months, so I was expecting it back after Christmas. Then it moved to 6 months. Should have been March. Now it's any time from July to September, or that was at the beginning of March. But then obviously with this influx, that could be, we don't know when it could be. It could be after August or whenever they said October, and people just keep sending it in, which obviously they've closed now, but that doesn't necessarily mean the cards are going to get graded that was in the backlog. That just means they need time to purely process the cards that have come in. So I've saw a lot of comments saying, well, at least my cards will get graded now. Well, no, not really. That's not what they're saying. They're not saying we're closing to catch up with the grading that's delayed. We're closing to catch up with the amount of submissions we've received in the past month. And I know they've said some things further on down that we'll go into that I have other thoughts about as well. But I think PSA got itself in a little bit of a mess with the sort of bulk submissions. I think they probably could have done with capping it, because I know they've put the prices up. Don't forget, they put the prices up 4 weeks ago.
So that's the next part of this.
Right. Okay.
This blog, it says, given our growing backlog, it would be disingenuous for us to continue to accept submissions for cards that we will be unable to process in the foreseeable future. It's an unpleasant conclusion, especially after the March 1st price increase, but it's necessary to properly serve the customers who have already submitted to PSA. So as you said, we did all know that they upped their prices in March, which I don't believe it was they wanted to make more money. I think they sort of did it to thinking people would avoid it. Yeah, just like step back a bit. But I think that sort of backfired on them, which in hindsight, I think going forward, it is a bad move, because if people realise now, with what we're going to move on to with the other grading companies, that they've got cheaper alternatives. Yeah. With a less wait time as well.
Yeah, because I know Beckett have gone under the same sort of processes. They've got a lot of backlog. The cards are now, you're waiting months for cards, and they put their prices up in March as well. So I can't predict the future, but it wouldn't surprise me if Beckett followed suit within the next couple of weeks. Because the way it's going to go is, and now this isn't the hierarchy of grading, but it's sort of, people are going to go to PSA. If they can't get it at PSA, they're going to go to Beckett. If they can't get it at Beckett, they're going to go to CGC. And then if they can't get it from CGC, they're going to go to PCA or, other companies. Like we've got UK options now, which we haven't had before. So it wouldn't surprise me if other companies follow suit, because I had a look at CGC for a video I had planned when we had our GetGraded cards back, and that was what was it, £22 for a 5-day turnaround for bargain. I looked when I got my cards back, so a week ago, and that has gone up to about £30, and it's now a 50-day turnaround. And for a basic submission, I haven't looked at Beckett, but for CGC, it's now, I think it's a 120-day turnaround. Madness. So again, that's shot up as well. So people are sort of scattering where they're sending the cards, but with the sheer volume, if one company closes down, which is arguably the biggest, that's only gonna, people aren't going to stop getting their card graded. They're just going to send it elsewhere.
Yeah, especially all the. So I feel like your hardcore collectors who do grade at PSA, I feel like they're going to stick by it, and they'll probably take a step back for it for a while. But I think the people who have recently got into grading, I think they will try and find other alternatives.
Yeah, I think I did read somewhere, and I don't know if this is going back to PSA, and I don't know if I could be wrong here, but PSA are still accepting one type of submission, and that's their $300 submission.
So it does. I was going to have a look into this, because it says the next part of the blog, effective immediately. PSA is temporarily suspending our value, regular, and express service levels. This will allow us to fully unbox and receive the recent surge of orders and focus on our most impacted service lines. So I know the $300 is a lot. That's you get your card back quicker, don't you?
Yeah.
That's the highest. It's a lot of money to spend.
I think, is that up to £5,000 in value card or something like that? Or I know it's not I know the top one. I think you can pay up to 5,000. Like say if you had a first edition Charizard or a Black Lotus Magic card, I think that's £5,000. purely because the value of it afterwards.
Yeah.
So I think that them levels are still going to be available, but like you said, what was it? Service.
Value, regular, and express service levels.
So basically, that's the sudden surge and people sending off bulk submissions, sending off 600 cards at a time to make £10 a card. It's a lot. It is a lot.
So then it goes on to say, we will take a tiered approach to reintroducing these service levels. So I'm guessing it'll go express first, then service, and then regular. I think will probably be towards the back end of the year, I reckon.
Yeah. They're not going to open up bulk submissions first, to put it that way.
No, not at all. Our goal was to bring all suspended service levels back by July the 1st, which I cannot see happening.
What's that? 3 months?
Yeah, so it maybe reintroduce one a month.
Yeah, maybe. Depends how quick they get through it, doesn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah. Collectors Club members will have their memberships automatically extended to match the duration of the value suspension. This extension will ensure existing members have 12 full months to utilise their annual Collectors Club benefits. PSA's growth, planning and capacity expansion remains in full effect. We recently added an additional 58,000 square feet to our California operation on top of the 62,500 square feet we added a few months ago, furthering our ability to hire and process orders. I can't get my words out. A successful virtual career fair on March 16th netted many fresh candidates. Today we stand 783 people strong and are growing daily compared to the 421 employees at Collectors Universe in January 2020. So they are expanding.
Yeah, they've essentially doubled the workforce, haven't they?
Yeah, so that could be a big help in the coming months.
Yeah.
But this goes on to a discussion we were having earlier about will they expand in location?
See, now, I thought when they said we're opening up international offices, great, we're going to get a PSA centre in the UK or Europe, anywhere local to ourselves. But upon reading the words, it says just international offices. So what I believe, and I could be wrong, is they're going to open up, like, say, a London office, something that CGC do. They open up a London office, then everyone in the UK will send their cards to the London office. Then that works as a sort of distribution centre. So say they've got 5 offices in America, then so you get some cards in, you have a look at which office in America is least sort of push for capacity, send off cards to them. Next submission, right, which one's going to work best? So you've got 5 offices to send it to, and that way prevents a backlog. So say me and you sent cards off at the same time, exactly the same day, at the, even at the same post office. They could get to London, then they could go to 2 completely different offices, and then their individual turnaround times would affect when you get your cards back, as opposed to having a UK-based grading centre or a European-based grading centre. I think it's sort of uncharted waters for them being in the UK or Europe, and if they can just do something as simple as still offering a service to these countries and then sticking to what they know, that's probably a better option for them than setting up a new centres elsewhere. It's something that CGC do. They have a London office and then they ship it to America. So sort of like an official middleman. As opposed to going through like Graded Gem or Ludkins, you just send it straight to the PSA office.
See, I think that could be a big downfall for those sort of companies, though. Like Graded Gem, for example.
Yeah.
If PSA did bring a UK office, then it could be disastrous for them.
It could be, or people will still need help with submissions. So whether they just then sort out the postage to the London office, they could still offer that service, I suppose, if that was the case. So there is probably ways around it for them. I think people would still use a middleman for some things, but then you've got sort of like your beginners would still use the middleman, but then your more experienced would just be like, right, well, I can just send it straight to London now. Save on postage, save on insurance, and away you go.
And the final part that I would like to read out is it says, please also know that PSA is working on a physical office expansions to new international markets. So going back to what we said.
Yeah.
And for the first time, new grading locations in the United States. This will help diffuse submissions across multiple locations and allow PSA to tap into new grading talent across the hobby. More information will be announced in the near future. If you are interested in working for PSA, please email such and such. But we'll not go into that because there's not really much we can do from I think this side of the pond.
That cemented it where it says international offices in one sentence and then grading centres in America. So they may open up 5 or 6 more grading centres and across different states. But I think for the UK and Europe, it's not a realistic expectation that, you know, if you're waiting for an announcement from PSA to say you can get yourself a job there, it's probably not something worth waiting for.
Yeah, agreed. But so with this big news from PSA, how do you think this is going to affect these new and upcoming UK grading companies?
Well, we've seen a sudden surge of grading companies in the UK. We've got GetGraded, UK Grading, PokeTorioOfficial, and Good Bros Grading, which is a new one that I saw the other day. So we've briefly spoke about CGC, Beckett. We think that'll come down. We've also got PCA, which is a French company. I think, you know, they're more known and they're respected already within the community. So I think they could have a surge and you know, it'll benefit them greatly, because especially for the European market, because it's sort of you know, relatively quick, relatively cheap. I may send off a card to them just to give them a try. I know you wasn't keen on the case when I sent it to you.
No, not a fan. But I may join you. I may send one off as well. It's
just to see. I know their cases are a lot smaller, so you know, we can do that. And as I said, we've already done a video on GetGraded. I've got my sort of returns here. So if you haven't watched that video already and you are interested in seeing what they offered, what I'll do is I'll create a new playlist called Grading Companies. I'll pop it in that and the video somewhere up here to go and have a look at the returns video on that. And I was actually pleasantly surprised. I'm not going to go into too much about GetGraded on this video because, like I said, we've got that one, but I was pleasantly surprised with the returns. And you know, so my reference number on this one is 1162. So they've already graded 1,200 cards, probably more than that by the time we've recorded this video. So people are getting behind the company. I know they've had their issues. We're not going to go into that because they seem to have resolved some of them. But you know, that they're getting more of a name for themselves. The more sort of free marketing they're getting from the Facebook groups, the Twitters, the Instagrams, all this stuff that's going on, there's a market for it. You know, we've been crying out for a UK grading company for years, and all of a sudden we've got 4. So GetGraded is one that we've got experience with, and you know, I would say to people, have a go with them, give them a try, because you know, a few issues, but you know, it does the job. It looks nice, and you know, to start it off, yeah, I'd use them. I know I sort of said to you, are you going to try, and use yet to decide, but you know, they do a job, and I think they'll only get better and better and more respected.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the reputation will fly up. I think with them being a new company, I think a lot of people were very skeptical. I think, like, some of the stuff that was said, I think it was a little bit rushed. Like, I know that, like, we'll talk briefly on the other companies who are the waiting to open up their services, but I think these will thrive from this with PSA, because already a lot of people didn't want to wait 13 months or whatever it could be with PSA.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be a bit skeptical maybe with their older and more valuable cards at the minute.
Yeah, although I have
just
saw
because
some some base set stuff, and
I think until I reckon at the minute I think they'll still have a lot of issues to iron out, and fingers crossed they do sort them out, like little things like you were saying with the label.
Yeah, just like printing
Just little
issues with
things
the
like
label
that,
and stuff like that.
Just to get all them ironed out. But I think in a year's time, I think or maybe 2 years' time, they could be quite a well-known name.
Yeah, I do agree there. The next three aren't open for submissions yet. They have had trial periods, or if they've got subscribers for other services, they've sort of done a couple of cards. The two that I'm going to sort of mention in more detail are UK grading and PokeGrade. So UK grading is due to launch in May, I believe. There's been some snippets and teasers on Facebook and Instagram of their case, and their case looks really good actually. But although I have heard rumours they're changing their name because UK grading is a bit generic, so I have heard rumours that that's changing. But if people want to see us sort of submit to these people and try our cards so they don't have to, then we're more than happy to do that. So I don't know if you've got a company that you want us to try, whether that be PCA, UK grading, PokeGrade when it opens, let us know in the comments. I'm more than happy to send my cards off. I've got hundreds of cards that I don't mind sending, that we can try. So make sure you let us know if you want us to try it. I know we did that for a lot of people with GetGraded, and that was sort of well responded to. So I am looking forward to the UK grading one because I do like the look of their slab. We've got PokeGrade. Now you know a bit more information about PokeGrade than me, so I'll let you take it away with them.
Yeah, so I don't want to go into too much with them because I think following these videos, me and Ben have agreed we're going to do more videos like on each section. So we're going to do a full video on PokeGrade, and then when they finally get up and running, we'll both send off a card, and then UK grading, CGC, whatever. We'll get those out to you. But with PokeGrade, I believe they started in November, and they are due to open their submissions in May as well as UK grading. It's either May or June. I'll get the right information for when we do the video. But it started off as a custom booster pack subscription service. I think it were $5.99 a month, and you got an 11 card booster pack with a guaranteed holo, reverse holo, and I believe there was something else. It might have been like a GX, or I could be wrong, but I know it was a subscription service, which they still run now, which if you want to go check it out, then go ahead and let us know what it's like if you enjoy it. But there's a little issue with them that we will discuss in the video. I don't want to go into it too much now, but I am looking forward to it with the plans they've got going ahead. It's different. It's not your usual grading company. So we will get that video out for you, and you can let us know your thoughts on if you like the idea or not.
Sweet. And then the last one is Good Bros Grading. Now, these just popped up to me. I think it was the weekend on Facebook. I've never heard of them before, never sort of seen any discussions about them. They just sort of popped up as an ad. Yeah, I'm not sure about them. There's not a lot of information. They've trialled it with a subscription service. Again, I think they're waiting until sort of May, June time to officially launch. I
believe with those, they did a trial period.
Right, okay.
I think
I have saw one of their slabs, and I'm not ashamed to say that based on their slab, I wouldn't use them because I don't like the look of it. Have a look at them yourself, see what you think, but we will try them out. That's what we're here for. We're here to give information, help people out, so we will send it along. You never know, I changed my mind on GetGraded, so I might change my mind on them. I'm not knocking the company, it's just saying that my personal preference is I wouldn't want to use my card in that slab based on what I've saw, but that may change, or it might change in person, I don't know. So there's sort of 3 companies left for us to sort of investigate a little bit more and trial out. And yeah, we will definitely get some cards off to them when we can. Just make sure we've got the right times, and we will look into these companies a little bit more, and any information that we get, we'll we'll give out to you guys in a video like this. So if you are interested in UK grading companies, or even more information on PSA, Beckett, CGC, PCA, then make sure you are subscribed, because as soon as we get news, we will get it out to you as quickly as possible. One thing I don't know if we've briefly touched on this or not, but I think people will be a lot more disappointed when their graded cards come back, whatever company they use, because, you know, the good thing about grading your cards a year ago is not many people were doing it, so they held their value. Now, there's the amount of submissions we're getting is only going to drive the price down of cards. So that is one thing to be in mind as well. Is it worth sending off to PSA or Beckett, or, well, we can't do it to PSA at the minute, but is it worth sending a card off to Beckett to get it back in 13 months? You know, is the Pokemon hype going to be over in 13 months? It's one thing to think about.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
I think
that's
it's a weird market at the minute, isn't it? With the I think a lot of people are aiming to grade the wrong stuff at the minute.
Yeah.
I think especially, I think that's a bit wrong to say, because if you're, for example, you pulled just say they had a shiny Lugia in the Shiny Fate set, and you wanted to grade that card just for yourself, and that's fine. But I think, like we were touching on it earlier, with there's a lot of people out just to grade to sell.
Yeah, you're seeing that with the GetGraded market at the minute. Like, I've got mine, I'll keep mine. I have no intentions of selling them, whereas the amount of sold listings on eBay for GetGraded cards is people are already buying a £5 card, getting it graded, selling it for £35-40. You know,
just making that little bit of profit.
You know, £5 a card profit by the time you take out fees and costs and stuff. So
I think that is at the minute, though, grading those sort of cards to flip is the wrong market.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think, like you say, a lot of people sending in the Shiny Fates, the Battle Styles, the Hidden Fates, the Vivid Voltage,
Champion's Path, them sorts of.
Yeah, like it showed with the Charizard. When Charizard dropped from Champion's Path, the raw version was selling for $550.
Yeah, so when I pulled it, it was selling for $550. A PSA 10 was selling for about $1,700-1,800. I feel sorry for the person that bought the first graded one, because it cost him £7,500. But now a PSA 9, you're looking at 350 quid, and a PSA 10, you're not going to get more than 700 quid out of your card for that. So, you know, the prices is, you know, threefold declined in value. So it's an interesting market to watch at the minute.
Very interesting.
So, but have you got anything else you'd like to say on the matter, Adam?
No, I think that's. I think we've covered all grounds there. I think we've
brilliant. Well,
got everything out.
Like I said, if you want to see our submissions to these grading companies or any more information that we've got, then click that subscribe button, turn the notification on for the bell to see when our video goes next. Check out our links down in the description below. We've got a Discord, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, where we also, you know, open stuff and talk about stuff. So yeah, join them. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the information, and hopefully we shall see you soon.
Take care, everyone.
See you later, guys. Bye bye.